Chapter 2 is a little bit of a middle games therapy session. And what I mean by this is it's an entire chapter dedicated to bad habits. So habits that you've probably developed. If you haven't, then the other person watching this right now, you probably have. I feel like multiple people will watch this. Hopefully we have multiple customers of this course. You all do one of these things, okay? Whether it's out of laziness, you've just developed like bad patterns that you just fall into and nobody's kind of like adjusted it. For example, I go to a boxing gym, okay? And I started recently, I do a lot of one-on-one training. I get corrected right away in one-on-ones. It's one of the reasons I invest a little bit more money into that rather than a group class. I can get corrected right away. If I'm popping my jab and I'm not, bringing up my shoulder to block a counterpunch, my coach catches that right away. Right? I don't have to just build up the habit of being really low with my punch. Same in chess. You do something silly, you build it up, nobody corrects it, that's sort of what happens. And in this chapter, I'm getting into some of the things that my viewers, you are included in that, and subscribers and so on, submitted to me that they do. So things like one movers. And I have a very good video that's well, I don't want to call it very good. You guys have called it very good. Which is called like the 7 most common chess mistakes that people make. And in that video, I get into something called one movers. So that's one of the things we're going to cover in this chapter. One movers. Moves that just create one threat. Just make a move, create a threat. Don't even think twice. That drives me nuts. Because if you attack an opponent's piece, how dare you not think about what they're going to do? What, are they just going to sit there and let you take the piece? If that's the way you think, you shouldn't have this course. And if it's within the 7-day refund policy, you should consider refunding it. Don't though. Give the course a chance. It's great. That's the stuff you gotta get out of your system. Like, oh, I'm gonna attack that queen. What if they don't see it? That's not how you play chess. Okay? So don't do that. And what I've done is I have a few studies here, like games demonstrating these bad habits, like taking full subscriber games with multiple examples of these bad habits, and I'm gonna get into them. A lot of you don't think about what your opponents are gonna do. You play very selfishly. Very little acknowledgement of opponents' threats or resources. At an elementary level, you don't think about these things after your opponents play moves. Like your opponents play a move, clearly demonstrating some intent. You don't evaluate it, you don't think about it, you just do your own thing. An advanced level of this, as you get better and better, is going to be, okay, well, I've evaluated that you have no threat right now, but now I have a plan. Okay, so I'm going to make this plan and I'm going to play a move, but nowhere in your thought process of making that plan do you think, what's their best move? That's chess. Chess is constantly digging with the same information back and forth and evaluating what's right and what's not. And that's what makes the beauty of the game. So I have 4 studies here in this Middle Games chapter, and I have 10 quizzes and 10 drills. The quizzes will prompt you in certain situations to do certain things or not. And the quizzes will kind of take you through how to get punished in certain situations, or rather avoid getting punished in certain situations, and how to kind of take advantage of situations where I made a mistake. Like I've actually put you in my role. Like I've been in games where I do something and it's wrong. I missed an opponent's resource. And you're going to be able to beat me in some of these quizzes and drills, because you're going to see my games, and I say, oh, I tried to play this thing, and I completely missed my opponent's resource. So we're going to start trying to break bad habits in your middle game play in Chapter 2. It's a very, very important chapter, because you can learn all the fundamental stuff. Again, back to the boxing analogy, but if you can't, you can learn all the textbook stuff, but if you get into the game and it goes out the window and you get right back to the bad habits, that's really bad. So Chapter 2 is very important. It's a little bit less instructional, but not instructional in the case of textbook instruction. Like driving is another good example. You learn all the stuff for the road test. You get out on the street, it's a totally different thing, especially here in New York City. It's crazy out here. So you learn with technique and you learn with actually getting the hours in. Some of the other stuff in this course is pawn structure. And that's great. That's good to know. But bad habits in the middle game is really getting down and dirty, realizing in game time situations what you're screwing up and what you're doing wrong and how to stop that. So enjoy it.